So the way that we're going to be doing it tonight for people, while Andy just gets everything, well, I don't know if he's still sorting everything, is we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about a bit of a World Cup review in terms of any shocks, surprises. Talk about the eventual game, the final yesterday, the USA Ireland final. Get some feedback as well from Andy and Joe about their opinion and thoughts on Scotland, since of course both are Scottish, and it's nice because Joe has an insider opinion on how it went, and Andy has an outsider opinion on how it went by being able to watch it and see it all fall into place. We'll be doing that. We're going to leave I know it's World Cup related, but I think it would be better to leave the golden ball stuff until the end, so as in right very end of the podcast. So we'll come back to that, and we'll reveal the winner there. But a winner has been decided in what I can only describe as the closest fucking vote I've ever seen in my entire life. So, and the first time in the World Cup golden ball voting is that all 10 shortlisted people registered votes. So that's to tell you something. And then, of course, when we get or find a guest, then we'll be continuing our rant about why FIFA and Ultimate Team is so shit later on after the World Cup stuff. Because, again, we were supposed to get Chrissy and JR on to come and join us, but then they had to pull out, unfortunately, late on. So we are still awaiting to see if we can find a golden oldie with a lot of knowledge and experience to come on and kind of, talk some shit with us, really. So
yeah, if there's anybody in
the chat,
anybody in chat that wants to pop in the call, and they feel they've got the kind of knowledge of yesteryear, then be our guest, basically.
Absolutely. So do you need the doc again, Andy? You got the doc. I don't know if you want to use this doc or not for whatever we're going to talk about, because I've got everything there in terms of all the stats are updated now, all the overall records are updated. I can open up all the fixtures and stuff again, so we just go through it systematically.
I've still got the doc here. I can just get this up on the screen.
Guys, as well, make sure that you're tweeting about the podcast. Get as many people in as we can. I mean, we all know Andy has submitted his application for partner, but there's no reason that now we have to drop the viewers. So let's try and break 100 as usual.
For what I've been told, you need to hit the numbers for 3 months solid.
Okay. Well, yeah, there you go then. So 3 months of fucking grind, troops. That's just how it's going to be now. Deal with it. If you're not watching Andy's stream, you'll either have to have a fucking doctor's sick note or a fucking or a reason, like you're at a funeral or something. Other than that, I want it on your devices always, constantly. Deal with it. I need to get the season 42 seeding, season 42 fixtures, season 42 tables.
Are you needing this doc, Joe?
Say that again?
Are you needing this document?
Aye, link me as well so I can have a swatch.
Right, okay, here you go.
Season 42
I've
knockouts.
Just stuck it in. I believe I've just stuck it in the actual call.
I see it.
Right, okay.
Actually, this is I get sent all this. I think I get sent Kayazus of the actual it's the all-time records. The all-time records I was getting sent Kayazus of the Scotland stuff.
So only 6 off of the most caps now, Joe. Fucking catching up to Dylan.
Really?
Yeah. 63, Dylan's on 69. I get sent a Gayazu and I think if I remember right, it was Cheeky says, "Oh, Joe, it's nice to see that you've played the same amount of games as Scotland as the age." Like, fuck off, you cunt.
I know. I'm putting a formal request in. The troops in the feedback, they want Gringo off the train, so we're looking for an updated picture. Gringo off the train.
Picture.
Yes.
I'll get you one for next week.
Hashtag Gringo off the train. He's still not 4 weeks later, and he's still not arrived.
That reminds me, fucking talking to trains. I need to fucking continue my sub to you after this. Actually, I'll write that down in a note quickly.
Oh Jesus.
That runs out soon. Right, okay, yeah, World Cup. Anyway, where was I? I got so much shit going on. Let me
switch this document then.
Eventually, yesterday, saw the final happen. We saw USA play Ireland in a blockbuster final, which included everything from alleged DDoSing to fucking own goals to calamity goals to fucking domination, possession from Ireland. It had everything. The only thing it didn't have is an absolutely fucking golden peach of a winner. We had a ball ricocheting off Dags' kneecap to fucking give USA the dub. So that was that. In terms of, I don't know if did you watch the final, Joe, or did you just go off because you were so pissed off?
I got off, but I went to my bed and I had Andy's big baldy head on my phone lying in bed.
There you go, that's commitment. What did you make of the final then? Because of course me and Andy were watching it. What did you make of that?
I mean, there's no other way to say it other than Ireland dominated, but just couldn't break down that much. Oh, sorry, Donald's wall. They just couldn't could not break Donald's wall. It's just, and then it was obviously the only way to say it is Americans shithoused their way the whole way to the final and won it.
Yeah, and that's just been their kind of play style. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like a lot of Americans took a lot of. I know Lambo Sosa took a lot of.
That's, I mean, it's effective. It gets.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with it. Like some of the Americans were like, yeah, everyone was saying that we play shit football. Like, to be completely honest, you do. But at the end of the day, it's winning football. So who fucking cares?
I mean, they had 1-0 wins. They beat Hungary 1-0, and I mean, you look at the Welsh done to Hungary.
Yeah.
Tells you the way the Americans were playing. I mean, they see it there. I mean, they beat Hungary 1-0, scored their goal, probably let Hungary have all the ball. Come break us down, couldn't do it, and then you look at what the Welsh done to Hungary after it and smashed them 9-2.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a similar play style with Ireland as well. Ireland were also in this. I think yesterday after the final finished, the way if you look at it and the way that it ended up being was Ireland finished the tournament with something like seven goals scored and 2 conceded.
Yeah, they never a goal in the group, something like that.
USA was something like six goals scored, 3 conceded, something like that. So it was a case where it was just. We said it on commentary yesterday. Me and Andy said it. It was pretty much who was going to break down the other's wall first and shoot. Because the big thing that I got flack for when I was doing commentary with Andy yesterday. It was, and Dally got very pissed off. But at the end of the day, it's just the facts, man.
Right, I wasn't streaming. I just thought they're not going to come and watch Scotland or any of the lower ones playing in fucking 13, 15, 19 spots. So they're not going to do that. So basically, there's no point streaming. And I'll just put Andy on and watch what's there. And,
it just comes down to it. At the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that you look at the keepers, and I think when you look at the squads in general, I don't think Molotov has anything wrong with me saying that Molotov is not kind of like a Champions League winning level keeper, like a Shillen or like exactly.
Is it maybe worth, boys? I'm thinking. Sorry to interrupt, Joe. I'm sat here thinking, is it maybe worth trying to contact one of the World Cup winners?
Let's see if.
Well, it depends if it's Americans, and it'll be 5 hours behind.
But I know Ben might be on because Ben's a teacher, so they sometimes they finish earlier.
We could see if Leo and Leonidas is a bit.
Well, Lambo's in the chat as well. Lambo, you want to come on? Lambo, if that is Lambo Sosa wants to come on and talk about the World Cup and hop in.
He's actually Lambo's actually been cracking me up today on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's it's the first time. The thing is, I didn't know him.
Go to the bar and tell the girls that you're a
aye.
Guaranteed. I lost it, man. Hilarious.
He's
died. Buzz connection went.
No, you're still here. Yeah, you're still here. I'm actually I've messaged Shifty as well to see if he wants to come on. But if was any of the Americans at World Cup winners for the chat yesterday, or even any of the Irish boys that maybe want to come in and just like add a wee bit of a different mix to the podcast, because I'm sure that people hear us every week, and sometimes a new voice is what people want to hear, and it adds another dynamic to the call sometimes. So if anybody's want to come on. That would be absolutely fantastic, as I said. I'm just looking at Shifty's answer. Where is he?
Lambo said he just got over from work. No clue how to join up, though. Lambo, if you want to come on, all you got to do is just come on Skype. It's just a Skype call, man.
Yeah, it's just a Skype call. I have a mic, that's it.
Yeah, have it. Well, obviously, fuck me.
I'll send smoke signals, or get the big can out, and we'll just, across the Atlantic, you know what I mean?
Right, well, he's deciding that then, so we're pushing on. We're obviously talking about Ireland and USA. I think we should what I think we should do is leave them till last, because they're the winners and runners up. But in terms of me, I'm going to go with my big surprises of what happened, right, and then I'll let you two cut in, and you can kind of say yours. Obviously, Joe, you were part of a big surprise in terms of Scotland. Now, Scotland was a surprise in terms of the name of Scotland and the players it's got and the history it's got in the VFL World Cup. No surprise for me though. When I seen the team sheet, absolutely no surprise for me at all that Scotland went out. I predicted they would go out. Still is a surprise in terms of the name for people, but for me, no surprise, no shock. The big surprise for me is obviously the French coming in with a flamboyant football, absolutely dusting the entire group. A really, really tough group because Northern Ireland end up with semi-finalists. Poland were quite a solid outfit, and obviously you've got Scotland in there as well, who, for all intents and purposes, have got a really good name in history recently. I mean, I think they've contested the last 4 or 5 semis and finals. Scotland, so they've been a bit. So for them to get grouped, that's quite massive. France was a really big surprise for me because I based on last year, the French had were winning tournaments last year. They found a way to win ugly and win nice. So they knew you could get into a game with a French team. I think Relentless won 3 tournaments last year, I believe. So you could get into a tournament with the Frenchies last year, and you could get played off the park. But if you went ugly with them, you could also get uglied off the park. So no, you know what I mean. You could. I mean, you know that as well, Joe, because we played. I mean, they absolutely smashed Class in a tournament 4-0. And Class weren't they playing bad that tournament by any stretch of imagination. My other kind of surprise was I felt like the Germans went out a bit meekly. I thought they would have done a bit better than what they did. I can't hang with the knockouts were. I mean, Germany just went out in a 1-0 damp squib to Ireland, for what I remember.
The Irish did have that bus as well. To be fair to them, they haven't conceded a goal in any of the group games, and then they went and played in the quarterfinals, and again didn't concede.
I think. Sorry,
nice stuff.
Yeah.
I think though, doesn't that come back down to the fact that when we talked about this last week in the preview, where just foreign teams only have one set way of playing, like. Is it the Germans and the French have 2 amazing squads that they registered, but do they know how to beat tournament football? Because France consistently show now that they don't know how to beat it. Maybe this is the side of Germany not knowing how to beat it either. To go in, they did. I mean, I don't think they had the greatest performances in the groups because that was the group that they were in with the rest of the world. Like I think they drew to Portugal 1-1, but you'd expect Germany with that team to just go far. I think the fact that they went out 1-0 to Ireland. Me not knowing how Ireland played in that game, since I was playing at the same time, I don't know if Germany if Germany got unlucky, if Germany just got pushed back and dominated, and it was just a 1-0 and the keeper had an on-fire game, or if they just don't know how to beat tournament ball, because I think that's now a thing that you're looking at.
Can I answer that question that Peg just answered in the chat? Has any team won a tournament this FIFA playing good football? I would say that Unity did. We dominated every game apart from one when we had an absolute 50-50 against Phoenix, as I'm sure Joe will testify. We absolutely dominated Creative 2-0. It was either 1 or 2-0 in the semis, and it was a canter. We absolutely dominated intensity. It wasn't even in any doubt after about 30 minutes. And we kind of breezed through the groups. The team that beat us, we basically pinned them in, had 60% possession and stuff. So, Unity will always mix it up because I'm there now throwing an LBY, but we did play some really nice stuff that tournament. And even against Joe, the goal that we scored was a nice goal. I mean, it did fire out in nowhere, but it was still a nice goal.
Shut somebody down, the shot flies right through you and in the corner.
But I mean, even yous, with all due respect to yous were playing good football at that tournament as well. Because I honestly believe if we didn't beat yous that night, yous would have won that tournament. Just based on the level of what yous were at when yous played us. But just to answer that question, sorry, it's kind of off the track. But no, teams are winning. There's teams going about playing nice. I mean, even Class played some decent football last tournament as well. Obviously, when they go to the latter stages, they started shitehousing it a bit. And they definitely had to shite house the final. The goal in the final was disgusting, but
it still hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what it is.
This one is fucking FIFA. You bust your ass, get all your way to a final, and then EA gets you.
Well, that's what happened last night too. Look what happened to USA and Ireland, because that's literally the only chance in their box. It's an LBY. The left back's no tracked it. He's hit a shot in. It's beat the keeper because the keeper's just crumbled. He's beat the keeper, and then the next thing you know, the guy's clearing it off the line. It hits half dags. It hits back after the guy and goes in the net. Like, it's fucking just mental.
So how it goes. Like I said, I mean, we've been seeing that for years though. Like I said, Joe was around, and that was when Scotland were in its fucking heyday. When USA lost that game in golden goal because the ball bounced off someone's ass, hit the post, and went in. That's been happening for years. I think I honestly don't think USA will care how they won that game. And it's like I said to you on comm yesterday, Andy. It's like at halftime when Ireland have 61% possession, like 7 shots and 5 on target, and USA have got just straight zeros down the board. They just don't panic.
The other thing is about USA as well, which I pointed out in the final, was that they would have been playing with delay, some of them. Because they were on the away host and they're playing like 3,500, 4,000 miles is the closest point for, I think it's New York is kind of like the closest point of the USA to the British Isles, and then also as well on top of that they played with 3 lagouts, 2 of which has been confirmed DDoSed. I don't know about the other one, so I mean that is some feat, like to go in there to play with that kind of delay, to like be pinned in, to be smashed about, and then to actually like have people DDoSed offline as well during the final. All the circumstances like point to an Ireland win. And if Ireland,
you think about it, right? Sorry, Andy. See the way that the Americans played all the way through. See with the lagouts, it helped because they were already in the mode of knowing they were going to have to defend. As soon as you get lagouts, you know you can't press the way you can. As soon as you've got one lagout,
that's another great point, Joe.
The passing game's gone. And the fact that they've been through that whole tournament playing in the way they did, the shite house defence, I seen that game, and at one point I seen there was 11 bodies in their box defending, literally. And I seen it on Twitter because the French were obviously, we'll say so, it might be the words, but then
assault.
The way that they played through the whole tournament, and then having that 3 lagouts, it kind of worked for them anyway.
So I think building on what Andy said as well, it just makes the Irish just look absolutely just terrible in terms of the fact that they couldn't capitalise. Just especially when you think about, it all goes down to what was being said in that party or in that game at halftime. Because I stand by the fact that they looked at those stats at halftime and just were like, yeah, this is a fucking walk. It's coming. Don't worry, this is nothing.
See, that's it.
And they just said if that was the thing, then they absolutely underestimated them, because USA had been doing that for the entire fucking weekend, conceding and letting up shots all the time and then winning games. So
see,
Matt, I'm interested to know.
See, me run a tournament and we're doing that, right? Do you know what my first thought would have been looking at the stats? I'd have been like, we're not having enough efforts in goal and we're not actually creating any chances. That's what I'd have been saying. And the other thing, when we won a tournament, what I said different to like the tournament say last time is because I genuinely thought we could win the tournament that we won. So I was like that to my team: don't concede a goal. Just don't concede under any circumstances. Don't concede, and just we will get a chance and we will score. But all we need is one chance, one decent chance. We'll get a goal, we'll score, and that's it. Because if we don't concede, we'll win. And that's basically pretty much what happened. We didn't concede any goals. So as soon as you get a goal, you know we're not conceding here. We've won this game. You just got that mentality. You just know my team's at this point. We're at this level just now. We're not fucking conceding a goal.
In that tournament, man. I mean, we hit the post, we hit the bar, we hit Animal standing on the line, we hit James standing on the line. I mean, the ball across to James, and James, it's coming right to my head. All I've got to do, and James flies out in nowhere, positions himself perfect, comes out in nowhere, takes the ball, and I'm like, this is one of these hitting the post games for us again.
That's just one of the things in it. But when you know yourself when you're in one of the games, you're not conceding. But when you just know, like things are just going your way, you just know. I just never felt. It's strange to say because balls are cleared off the line and all that, but I never felt in any danger that it was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's just that the way it is, it's just USA have just been doing it. They've perfected that kind of play style though, because the USA always come with the same play style. There's not been like a tournament where USA have like altered in terms of one World Cup they play super attacking, the next World Cup they play super defensive. They've been this kind of counter Simeone-esque style team for like the last 3 FIFAs.
It's predominantly the same squad.
Yeah.
It's because it is the same squad that play over and over again. They've got that way of that knack of playing now.
The one reasonable.
Was it the last? It wasn't the last final. It was the final before. It was the semi-final we put, I think, last tournament, and then we were in the final with them the tournament before. And I mean, I remember at the beginning it used to be America getting grouped and then grouped. They were the Whitten boys, and now look at them. They found their niche, shall we say.
The thing is, I was saying last night, and it proved right, but the one chance that Ireland actually got was when because I kept saying about Wood, I kept saying the Aussies are doing is they're bottlenecking up. They've got 3-4 guys bottlenecking up in the middle, and obviously like that's like just suffocating any chances. So I kept saying to Aaron that like Ireland need to get a bit of width here. So the first time they actually got a bit of width was with Cheeky. And Cheeky actually, I can't remember exactly what he done, but he either put in a really good ball or a really good shot or whatever, and it was only one legitimate time that they had a decent chance was when they managed to get a kind of overlap with Cheeky.
Cheeky's game is wide in and behind. If you can get Cheeky wide and in behind, that is Cheeky's game.
I think as well the fact as well for USA, yeah, sure, Ireland dominated all that possession in the first half, and sure they got bottlenecked. But I think as soon as the US took Jim out the game out wide, because I think Jamin had a point when he was doing comms yesterday where Jimmy Caldwell looked like he was the main spark for Ireland. I would say he was Ireland's best player, then Cheeky was probably Ireland's second best player. But it's just the overcut. As soon as they stuffed Jim out and they sussed what Jim was going to do on the wing, and they knew what he was going to do, and they locked him up, there was no other creative outlet in that Irish team. There was not really anything. I thought personally, and I'll make these controversial statements and take the beef off stream. I thought Suitable was fucking ass yesterday. I thought in that final, mate.
There was a bit of I don't want to say finger pointing, but that if you remember the shot that he had coming in for the right and close. Yeah. Well, that picture ended up in the Phoenix chat, and obviously there was a bit of a debate going on whether he should have sweated that because he had two men there for the cutback. So there was a bit of I don't want to say finger pointing, but it was more like, look at this. And obviously,
sometimes that's the difference between the absolute top level players and the kind of mid tier players, and a lot of mid tier players will get salty when you point things like this out, but it's the difference between, say, a Dilskin and a Mr. Unsuitable. That's the difference. It's like, alright, Dylan can go and they can beat 2-3 players and he's got the skills not, but take that away, it's just his thought process in front of goal when he knows when to either A, shoot, or B, hit the sweat. Because we have a laugh in unity because Ronnie just shoots, and sometimes he'll score an absolute beezer of a goal and we're like, well, see, to be honest, you probably should have cut that back, but it's Ronnie, so we're just like, right, that's okay because you've scored the goal. But there's been times and there's been FIFAs when that's no worked and his game's been ruined by the way the game is, because he's got a very specific skill set and a very specific game, which he uses.
Get a side to go and hit it.
Aye, but he uses semi-shooting. He's perfected it over the years. You know what I mean? So he's like, but as I'm saying, is that there's a very different skill set to like somebody like Dylan or like guys I've seen over the years like Kyle the Great or guys like Lewis, like at Wonder Kids and stuff like that. They have that like that absolutely quick thought process to go like that. Well, I can maybe score if I shoot here, but if I cut it back, it's a guaranteed goal. Whereas somebody like me, I would just see the shot and shoot. Because I'm not anywhere near top tier. If you put me in attack, it's just like putting a bot up there.
I'm worse than a bot, to be honest. That's why I play centre back. Even in draft, people are like, Joe, you go up front, it'll be a laugh. And I'm like, mate, I would actually, it would just not be fun for you to
But the
watch.
difference is that I can see these things unfolding in front of my eyes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when I'm in defence, I can see these things, but when I'm in attack, I can't. It's so bizarre, man. I actually can't see a cutback when I'm in attack. I just see, there's a goal, I've got the ball, shoot.
See, I'm the same because I say things, right? And I remember, Cheeky, I'm going to call you out, you cunt, right? And he sent a DM to somebody, right? Now, his words were, centre back telling me what to do, and then his words after it was, stay in your lane, right? Now, he wasn't saying it to me, but the DM got to me, and I was like, fucking dirty wee, but I played this game longer than this cunt's been. This cunt was in nappies when I was playing this fucking
game. Talking of staying in your lane, let's fucking go out of our lane. So I want to talk about this one, and we'll go Andy first from an outside opinion, and then go to Joe on an inside opinion. Andy, what did the Scotland manager do right this World Cup, and what did he do wrong?
What did he do right?
What did he do right and what did he do wrong? What's the positives and negatives for him?
Genuinely, what did he do right?
Yeah.
No much. No much at all. His team selection was diabolical. His formation was all wrong for a start, based on his squad. He should have been 3-5-2, which would allow people that don't have the ability in full back to actually play wide and allow people like Joe and that to sweep behind two other centre backs. Playing Dilskin and Lamb on this FIFA, I don't think is the best thing to do unless you have people in the front four, in the other front three. Obviously, it's a front four But if you're going to play Dylan wide, you need to make sure that the other guys are at least run about his level. Or, I mean, basically they had 2 attackers. They had Murphy and they had Dylan. That's all they've got, because the other 2 attackers are non-existent. The Scotland was so lopsided. Every attack was going down the one side. Then obviously the fullbacks. I mean, I hate to keep calling them out because I've done it over the weekend every time I've seen them. The fullbacks were a shambles. Like, I'm talking low tier, like real low level stuff. My son is 11 years old and would have done a better job. Like, that's how poor it was. It was disgusting. And it's quite funny because during the game, if you remember, I was getting agitated watching it.
You were.
Yeah, I was getting really pissed off and agitated. And then I started laughing because I could see Joe's face. And I could see that he was getting agitated. Obviously, I couldn't hear him because I had him on mute. But I could see that. I was like that to myself, man. He's like, even Joe, and I said it on stream, even Joe's getting agitated here. This is real poor stuff, man, that's going on. It's just basics.
Against the French, it was just, I seen red.
It was pure basics.
Well, couldn't you say, though, okay, let's play devil's advocate, couldn't you say that over the scope of the tournament, then maybe he picked the wrong team initially, but that Sunday team sheet, we read it out to you on stream yesterday, he got it spot on, and that's
but that's too late.
See that, to be fair to him, I went through them on the Discord chat that they made. Friday and Saturday was due to availability for most of that team. So I went through them in the chat, like, why are you signing up for this knowing what day it is? I don't give a fuck if it's Valentine's Day. Couldn't get I'm here, I'm playing. If I know the date, I know what it's fell on, I know what's coming. Why sign up for something that you know you're not going to be there for at least one of the days? You can maybe juggle it, right? Fair enough. But the 2 of them, no.
But by the same token, Joe, that's down to the manager to be strong and also ask.
I said that as well. He's going to ask the question.
You can't turn in.
How many of them are going to? Because there was too many missing, too many missing.
You can't turn in and the other thing is as well is he picked these players in his squad that end up falling in for these other guys. So and they weren't good enough. Clearly they weren't good enough. The manager himself wasn't good enough. Wasn't at good enough level.
The manager was a bit suspect. To be honest, a lot of the Scottish pool let Scotland in.
Yeah, of course.
Trialing. A lot of them just turned their nose up at it, whether it was the manager, whether it was because they didn't think they would get in because it was too attacking, whether it been the manager and the co. A lot of them let that down. You take the day of the trial, then we fight the battle of who plays. Because I'll tell you right now, see if Dom, who else, Hadji, any of them,
Jack McKenzie,
Martin, Jack, see if they're there. If he's here, I don't care. If Del Decker's there, I don't care. I'll tell you right now, see if they were in that squad and they 2 played ahead of any of them, I would literally, there would have been a war in the Scotland chat. But the fact
not even that, it's not even
that is the problem. We didn't have anybody to replace them with. To look at what we had to replace, we're like, well, we fucking might as well go for it.
You're talking as well, like, look at the other guys that didn't appear, like, at the back, me, Ray,
favourite Danny
Hughes, even Brian 89, like, there is tons of, but that can be, i.e. based on the manager as well, as you say. But no, Scotland. For me, the Saturday, the Friday Saturday, there's absolutely no positives to take for Scotland whatsoever. I mean, basically, the manager himself nullified his greatest threat.
Peg, I know that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was people that got excluded that I actually questioned them when. I mean, I spoke to him either the Wednesday or the Thursday, and he says, "What do you think of this?"
So Pixel trialled and Ray trialled and didn't get picked.
I looked at it and I'm like, why are these boys no in? Why was... Oh, who's his name again? Aaron, who did you stop playing? Spooney, yeah. Right? You had Spooney in, right? Now, in that trial, I watched that boy do nothing but fake shot into defender after defender after defender. How iconic Blues, Dylan never get into that team before Spooney, I don't know, other than it being a pals act. It's the only conclusion that I can think. Because I actually asked him, why is iconic Blues no one and Spooney is, and he basically said Del Decker picked him, and I'm like, you're the fucking manager.
So Aaron, let me throw this back to you then, Aaron. When you hear this, how do you feel having picked somebody that just basically clearly didn't have the capabilities to run it?
I think at the end of the day, it's a sink or swim type thing, really. I think with how he performed at club level and how he's managed his players at club level and how everyone can't speak highly enough of the guy, at club level and how he behaves and acts, you feel like guys like that should get the chance to have the biggest job. And it's the same with Wales and Fishands, and we'll get onto that because I think Fishands got overwhelmed with the Wales post as well. And again, I haven't heard as much about Scotland. I don't know if it was a similar case to Fishands, where basically the Scotland manager was quiet, dejected, and couldn't handle some of the bigger names and some of the bigger attitudes in the team. Only Joe can really can say if that happened or not.
In games, I remember, and maybe the first night I remember him speaking twice, and one of them was to answer my question because there was a scenario where Del Decker's going down the line, he's running behind Del Decker. Del Decker's taking the whole French back line away, so Lele's got all the time on the ball. All you got to do is turn, find a DM, then we move the ball across, and then we can go forward because the whole back line's running away from him, and he's tried to force Del Decker down the line, and Del Decker's doing a massive touch and taking it out of play. And I've said to him, "Did you know see that?" And that was really the only time I remember hearing his voice.
So again, though, to go back to that, I feel like it's only a case where you know or you don't know when it's going to happen. Because, for example, at the same point, you could fling it and say, sure, maybe that one went wrong, but the Ireland one and how Leodis was and how Leodis organised Ireland for his first time being capped or anything turned out brilliantly. Got his team to the final, had a structured team.
But but to be fair to leaders, he's been floating about 11-man. He floats about 11-man teams, so he's got the experience of going and playing with like what you would call the top tier players, even if it's mid tier teams. I genuinely think unless people have been in the kind of that environment where they've been tested against the kind of like unless you've managed, I genuinely think unless you've managed a top VFL team, one that's competing for titles, even maybe not even winning them, but one that's Champions Leagues competing for titles. And I don't mean fucking first division titles. I mean like competing for the Prem, competing for the Bundesliga. I don't think it's a good enough reason to pull people in and get them manager. That's my personal opinion. You've obviously got yours.
I completely respect that, but the outlier though, then you could say for this World Cup, which you could say rest of the world and Gio, semi-final spot, never won anything massive on VFL, but managed to pull the players in together and get them playing a formation system.
Yeah, but
it's just at least competing. Like,
but there was
maybe getting to the later stages of the EL or the Champions League, or they're in the Prem, whether it be Italy, whatever. But that he's up there competing, and he's competing against the top teams that are winning them. Then
I think at the same time you have to concede the fact as well that if Scotland were in one of the other groups, I think they would have went through. I believe that solely. I do. I think that group D getting in there was unfortunate. I think if rest of the world went into Group D, I think we would have got grouped. If fucking England went into Group D, honestly, I think maybe depending on the players that they put out and the availability, I think maybe they would have had a tough time getting out of that group. That group was a nightmare.
I'll be
you
honest,
have to concede that point.
You could have put us in any group, and I don't see us beating many teams.
No, because the defence was a fucking shambles.
The first night, I told you in off stream what the plan was, what we spoke about. The idea was we play the Polish, we'll beat the Polish. We get what we can against the French, and we get what we can against the Northern Irish. When we looked at all the squads, we played the Polish. The first half was a damn squib. There wasn't a shot. 50-50, 0-0. We played them in the second half, and they came out and they tore us arse from ear hole. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's basically when a team knows that they've found you out and found out you're not good enough, and they've just upped it.
See when our game plan of get the 3 points, and then we'll obviously go and try and beat the French, we'll try and beat the Irish, but we'll basically do not lose the game. See, as soon as we lost against the Polish, it was a case of we looking at each other and going, well, where do we go for here? And there was no other option, but we just need to go for it. Now we've literally put a bit against the wall, we're just done.
I haven't went and watched it back, but I'd be interested to know what was happening, what was being said to the fullbacks, because personally speaking, I mean, I've had some absolute wrecks in Unity at times, and I've had to babysit them through games, and I mean completely and utterly babysit people through games, like say to them, right, you fucking stand 5 or 10 years next to me and you don't fucking move, you don't go forward, you don't go back unless I go forward or back, and if I go up for a header, you go 10 years behind me, if you go up for a header, I go 10 years behind you, if I move into right back and I'm the right centre back, then you go play right centre back, etc., etc. You just literally have to walk them through everything, and that's the way it seemed to me like what needed to happen with him. But at the end of the day, as well,
I got to a point where we're playing, and I literally stopped speaking because I was like, there isn't helping. There's nothing we can physically. I mean, if we got the boys to the fullbacks, if they did find a pass and you watched it yourself, 7 times out of 10 they had the ball, they gave it away. If they did find a pass into the DMs lost it 9 times out of 10. There was no way of keeping the ball. We forced the ball to Dylan and hope we could pull a fucking, don't know, a magic shit out his arse, but.
So I mean, I look at you as the more positive guy, whereas Andy's the more fucking negative, angry, blunt guy.
To be honest,
did Lay lads do anything right for you this tournament then at all?
I mean, he did. The players that didn't show, he was fighting with one on behind his back. Then when he puts the first team sheet out, and then he has 2-3 pull-outs, he's fighting with 2 hands behind his back.
Yeah, but you're saying that.
He definitely made mistakes, and no taking the likes of Pixel, no taking the likes of Ray. There was people. I mean, Dylan Blue's only getting there because
he picked that squad. He picked that. At the end of the day, he picked that shambles.
You know.
I don't know if he's doing
actual trials. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Billy didn't he pick what trial?
Then we're struggling.
But he didn't, because he didn't. There's 2 players right away that are top 11-man players, Pixel and Ray.
As I say, I do agree. There was some that I was baffled at. Why are these boys not in?
I mean, Ray's won 15 plus 11-man tournaments. Like, you would just pick, no matter, like, it's like me last year, like, it's the exact same scenario. It's like picking, I don't want to harp back to it, but it's like picking Danny Hughes over me when you can split a hair between how good the two of you are on that FIFA. But just the basic fact that I've won so many tournaments, like, Ray should just walk into that team. Like, because when it gets to the nitty gritty, Ray would have known what to do. If Ray's like, hold on man, we're getting tore apart and fall back, Ray would have just played like a fucking 3rd and 4th centre back. Like, Ray would have known what to do. He would have made us solid. We might have got out of games 0-0 or whatever, but he would have known what to do because he just has that know-how. There's these guys that played.
If you've seen the Polish goals, I mean, there's Hodney and then there's them. I mean, the white boys come right in, down the line, and they run in the box, and our fullbacks don't physically go and press them until they're stunning. And I mean, the fullbacks drop, and then when somebody says, "Go fucking press the ball," and then they go press, but it's too late because they're in the 6-yard box.
Right, well, I'm going to answer. Can I answer somebody in here? Pineapple pot pie. This is what I'm going to say to you. When I first came about the scene with Unity, and I got Scotland manager. I got Scotland manager on FIFA 11 on VFL. FEPA. And that's when it was like, if you got manager on that, then it wasn't the way it is now. It's no like congratulations. No, it's like, who the fuck's this prick? Who the fuck does he think he is? Blah 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 should get it. Blah blah blah. You get tore a new fucking asshole. First thing I did was go and ask, who's the best players? Who is actually the best players? Who do they play for? What's his team's done? That's basically doing a bit of homework on your squad and your team. Like, how could he could have, basically, it's all there for you in VFL. Go to Aaron and say, who's the most capped players for Scotland? That's the first thing he should have done. Who's the most capped players? So it's Dilskin and it's Joe, right? So I'm going to name one of they two in my call, because I'm going to pick them. They're the most experienced players. Then you go to them, you say, who's generally the best players? Who's adapted this FIFA? Like, that's all down to the manager. That's the manager no doing his basic homework on what he's got available to himself. Like, because then Joe could have turned in and says, by the way, Ray's just playing through the motions because it's a trial. So he's only doing the absolute basics he needs to do to get in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he's no asked any questions. He's just went in and he's picked people based on trials. Are a load of shite. They're one load of shite, man. Nobody plays.
It takes one bad player in a trial team to mess the whole trial.
Aye, exactly.
The guy standing next to him and the guy standing in front of him.
Exactly, 100%. I don't think there's any excuses for the manager whatsoever. No today's due diligence, and that's what it is. It's due diligence. He's done it.
If you've been brutally honest, right, and as I said earlier on, if all the Jacks, the Doms, the Hadjis, and that had been in the squad, there would have been a hullabaloo about, look, if we want to go and win this, you might be. I mean, anybody that was in the Scotland squad when, what's the goalkeeper's name again? Ewan was in the squad. Ewan basically got one game. Because we're like, we want to win this, Ewan. You're no better than Shilling. Or was it Fart? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Shilling. I'm pretty sure it was Shilling. Like, we want to go and win this. Play the game that's going to get you the trophy, which I'm pretty sure he didn't get anyway because he was a bit of an arse. But, aye. Play the game that's going to win you, and then put the team out that's going to win us the tournament, and that's what he done, and he went and won it.
Right, well,
if you see that, if they the same with Lely, and the Doms, the Hadjis, none of that, they don't play. The manager doesn't play. He plays the one game probably against the Polish, where we don't. Well, we've got a lot more run about Dylan to actually give us something.
Well, you know what? I'll give Leylaj the positive of what he did. I'll tell you what he did. I'll tell you a good thing he did.
He's done it his way.
Okay, I'll give you two things he did. He did it. One, he did it his own way, and he has no complaints, or he holds his hands up to everything about it. He's pretty much said it went terribly, and he accepts that. But the one thing that you can take, in my opinion, is that I'm pretty sure, and again, this could completely validate my point or eradicate the point. When we were doing the commentary, Andy, you said that Murphy's only just come back onto the scene. And if that's the case, and he's only slightly started to make his comeback, he went into a Scotland team, called up by Leylaj, surrounded by only pockets of brilliance, not a team of brilliance, and he did exceptional in that World Cup. To pretty much grab 5 goals in the 6 games he played, sure seeding games, he pretty much enabled Murphy to kind of go back into a competitive environment immediately and then hit the ground running. And I think that wherever Murphy signs this season now, not because of Leylaj, not because of Scotland, but it's sped him up in terms of playing comp games again.
But so Murphy's already playing with Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I don't know what.
Murphy's already playing with Phoenix. Murphy's been
in Phoenix. Murphy, I go basically.
Aye. It's Europe's brought him. It's Europe brought him back. Oh, I mean, if he came back just foot on the base.
I'll give Mr. Unsuitable the Irish. He's the one that he's. Was it? I don't know where he's been playing with him. He's at Inter with them the new. I know that. I don't remember where Chris says that he's been playing before that. But I needed a striker in Phoenix after Brown done his disappearing act. So it was like, well, I remember Murphy. He was a player. It'll take him a bit to get the ring rust off his fingers. Are still a bit there, but I mean, he's still the old Murphy. He does have his moments, his flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
One other team I'll talk about as well quickly. I'd like to get your opinions on whether they flopped or whether they or not really, because there's no real in between. It's either you flopped or you had a good World Cup. England and Northern Ireland, 2 teams there, 2 different teams, but 2 similar teams, in a sense where both of them, I think when you look at the names of the team, and especially the history of the team in the World Cup, you'd say both of those should be getting to finals. England, key players in there like Bailey Ince, key players in there like Asensio, key players in there like Animal, a lot of key players. The midfield, I would arguably say, is probably one of the best midfielders at the tournament.
Just the size of the player pool that England have got, they should be in semis, finals, just about every single tournament.
Yeah, you can never satisfy everybody with England because there's that many players. You could literally pick 4 different 11s and people would still moan about every single one of them because the player pool was that big, that vast, and that good.
So the question that I was leading up to then is when you compare England and you compare Northern Ireland and you look at the squads that they both called up, you look at the rounds they got to. Ultimately, you're going to look at the Northern Irish, and you can say the Northern Irish, hands down, had a better squad of names and experience.
Can I say one thing actually? You know, one blast for the past that really impressed me when I played against them. I played with the centre back build this whole World Cup, and I've not had any trouble against any striker, whether I've been playing 5 foot 8 or 6 foot, to win headers. And Marty is the first striker to give me any sort of trouble. See the way he knows how to back into a player or a defender to make sure he wins the ball. Is he still playing like in VFL, or is he actually?
I think he's hated the last 2 FIFAs, so he just plays sporadically.
That's because I mean,
well,
it's just somebody that
I'm going to be controversial, but I think it was Marty that cost him. Like genuinely. Yeah, I don't think Marty played well when it got to the knockouts. Maybe on the Friday he did, but when it got to the knockouts, he consistently lost the ball. I don't know, but he consistently lost the ball. He consistently broke down attacks when about him. He wasn't doing what Marty normally does, which is like Marty works the space and shoots. He's like pretty much like Ronnie. Pretty much like Ronnie, he'll bring people into the game, or he'll hit shots that people don't expect.
He knows how to use that big pro.
He wasn't it for me. For me, he never done it, and I think that is basically the difference between Northern Ireland getting to semi-final and getting to final was because Marty didn't have a good Saturday. That's my opinion, of course. I'm sure Marty will probably have a different one because he's quite an opinionated guy.
I mean, I
but
can only say what I see when I played against him. I say I've not had any trouble against any strikers. He's the first striker that I've played against that. Well, apart from Doyle, to be fair, Doyle's kind of the same, but I kind of sussed Doyle out. But Marty I haven't played against for a long time, and he knows how I had a trouble against him, just the way he was bodying me and moving me about, just to make sure that when the ball was in the air, he was actually bringing it down.
But maybe the Marty that turned up on the Friday turns up on the Saturday, as I say, they have a different World Cup. But obviously, for what I remember in the Saturday, I felt that he was the one that was costing in terms of the attack. I mean, Nimic was always like, everything was through Nimic, absolutely everything that they done. And I just felt that any time Marty got the ball, it was like, no, not every time obviously, but most of the time it was breaking down around about him.
Defenders just dealt with him very. Who were the defenders for Ireland then?
Dags.
To be fair, Dags Dags used to be a cam, and he slotted into centre back. The first time I've seen him in centre back is it this FIFA, and he looks like he's played there forever.
That's the thing I was going to say though. To go to that question, is in your mind, both of you looking at it, who is the bigger loser out of the two nations? Northern Ireland for not getting to the final or winning it with the names that they've called up, or England for having a player pool that big and not getting past the quarters?
Well, Northern Ireland was my tip to win it, but I think semi-finals is probably a reasonable shot. That's no bottling at getting to semi-finals. That's just been maybe the difference between a breakaway chance or a good goal or whatever. I mean, that's basically the difference. Like that could so easily been different. That
the Northern Irish were 1-0 up. I'm pretty sure, if I remember it. The Northern Irish were 1-0 up.
But I agree with Joe. I think if England don't get to semis and finals, I think it's an underachievement for a player pool that size. Whereas Northern Ireland is pretty much has got everybody available and managed to get to a semi-final and possibly could have been a final.
Sorry, Andy, is between Northern Ireland and Ireland, I don't think that they'll have an easier chance of winning a tournament.
No.
Just because how bad Scotland were and the teams that.
The way that they all matched up as well, the path to the final for Northern Ireland and Ireland, I think was just so tasty, because I think Germany showed in the groups that they had the ability to leak goals and they weren't super strong and dominant like the French. And I think with England, yeah, sure, you got pockets in there, like I mentioned, like the midfield, like guys like Bailey and stuff in there. But there's also areas that you could look at in the England team and go, yeah, if you target them for 90 minutes, you're going to walk through them. I think the other side of the tree was way more difficult, because you got the fucking brilliance of the French if they get through. You've got the wall of USA, and that was just so defensively solid. You've got the movement and the fluidity of Spain. That's the one thing I noticed when we played against Spain, how they just moved the ball so effortlessly around. And then you've got rest of the world, which I don't really know what we were good at, because I don't really ever pay attention and like to talk about what my teams are good at. But I felt like we had a resilience to go 2-0 down to Spain. And then, to go 2-1 down to Spain and then come back and win 3-2. We had a lot of belief there, so I think you got a hard squad to kind of always to play against there.
It's always easier to see what your team's good at when you're not actually playing. See if you're sitting watching it on obviously Twitch or whatever. It's easy. I've actually got boys like Neff. See when Neff hasn't played. Neff is always watching Phoenix. Neff will be always messaging, whether he's in the Phoenix chat or he's messaging me. Same with my brother. I've always called my brother Gary Neville, because he's always getting. He literally takes Gayazos of the screen and then has these red circles everywhere and arrows pointing everywhere. But that's basically, it helps.
Very old tactics.
You're playing the game. Well, basically, but it's easy when you're playing the game. You don't always see everything.
No, you don't.
Now, you're sitting there. You're no stress. You're sitting watching the game, and you're going, well, he's not doing that. And Neff and my brother are always in my DMs going, tell him to do this, tell him to do that.
It reminds me of what I was like after I got out of Milan in FIFA 16 after doing a year straight in management, and I just backseat managed for about a year. I just couldn't help myself. I was going into teams and shit like PSG and just be like, why don't you try an inside pass here and inside pass there? I think it's like Andy. I think if Andy ever stepped away from Unity and he was doing these streams more often where he was watching people play, he'd sat there and he'd get more and more pissed off, because he'd be yelling at his fucking monitor, why isn't the fucking left back tracking, why isn't the right back pushing? He'd be that kind of guy. I think I
definitely don't think I've made many friends over this weekend.
that's who you're talking there, Aaron. You just put me in mind the Auxerre, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it Woodgate or
Woodgate? Yes,
Woodgate. Oh,
Woodgate.
I wish I could find that clip. I swear to God, man.
So I guess wrapping up in the terms of the World Cup stuff, we're saying that like the two islands, I would say, I wouldn't say overachieved, but achieved probably more than what people expect. Scotland's an underachiever, England's an underachiever, USA's massively overachieved in terms of what people thought. France have like fell flat in their face, and the other kind of teams are like we would maybe say are there and thereabouts where you would expect them to be. So
yeah,
it's kind of balanced out a bit.
The only team you would expect to be in there that isn't there would be the Scots.
Yeah,
possibly. The Northern Irish squad was. I mean, also Scots had today, when you look at the table, which is actually kills me, was draw one game. Don't lose to the Polish. Don't lose that late goal to the French. We literally go through when we beat the Northern Irish with 4 points.
So you say, I mean, when you look at that, then when you look at that kind of list that Andy's got up there, like those 8 teams that made the quarters, who is the team that you say? You're saying 7 out of 8 teams there should be there. They expect them to be there. The only one that isn't there is Scotland. What team shouldn't be there that Scotland should be in place of? That's the question.
In the current squad, or the squad that played, that is the right list they went through. And to be honest, as I say to you off stream, it might have been a blessing in disguise that Scotland didn't get through. Because if we went through, and who did Northern Ireland play? England. We played England. I don't like cricket, but it could have been a cricket.
But who's to say?
No joking, we were that bad.
Who's to say if he's got through? Who's to say on a Saturday the availability doesn't become different?
I mean, the same thing happened on a Saturday. The team sheet went out, and then fucking Buzz hits out. Wait, I can't play, lads. I need to go to my brother's to see wedding photos. Like, what? 5 minutes before we're about to go in the fucking lobby? What? Literally, it happened Friday. Put the team sheet up. Scottish is away to some fucking place to get out his face and fucking cat piss or something.
That's one thing I want to talk about before we move off the World Cup as well. Wales, that was a fucking shambles. Not because of fish hands. I think fish hands, to go over this briefly in case these two don't know the situation that happened at Wales. I know Andy definitely won't know because Andy is away from all the VFL drama and stuff. But fish hands picked another guy that's similar to Leylaj and deserved a shot at management. Fair play to him, credit to him. I think he's found out after this tournament that kind of level in terms of World Cup is just not for him, and I don't think he ever wants to go near that kind of thing in terms of management again. But I think how the Welsh squads in parts treated him, more so the people not picked, because from what I understand, the people in the squad kind of got on his back on the Friday because they were pissed off about going out, but then I think they kind of turned to him more and understood his situation more on Saturday and Sunday. But there were people that will be found eventually on Twitter after not getting picked for Wales that were mocking the manager of Wales for having cancer and all this shit over fucking FIFA. And if there's one thing that makes the entire player pool of Wales look like scumbags and jokes, and if there's an entire thing that makes the FIFA clubs community look like a joke, it's some spotty acne-ridden 15-year-old kid sitting behind a fucking fake account saying to some fucking guy, comments about his fucking cancer and how he should be dead and stuff, and that's a complete joke.
Yeah, and that's disgusting.
I swear to you, if you slip and you tell the wrong person who you are, or that comes to me, I promise you won't be playing VFL, you won't be playing FGL, you won't be playing VPG. I'll make sure that every single fucking site in the UK scene blackballs you from allowing you to play.
Because you don't get picked.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's some of the up there with some of the. I mean, I've seen some things even after the Irish thing. I've been sent all sorts of gazzles. I always do in that fucking poison pool chat that should be deleted. If some cunt had a brain in their head, they would delete it. Get rid of people that shouldn't. They're banned for everything. So why they're still in these fucking chats just to be poison? Just use your head.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the community is like when you get into a final and the underdog team that's sitting with Delaney or that are getting 3 people fired out the fucking game with DDoS. So you know the community's got a propensity to be wankers anyway. But then by the same token, I mean, look at your stream recently, Joe. Look at mine. Look at Ben's stream. Look at Manic's stream, and then look at it from that perspective as well. And you've got
so much.
Aye, so I mean, there's two fucking sides to it, because competitive FIFA can be so bad on one side, and scumbaggy, but then on the other side, the support can be absolutely and utterly insane, and it can be the same people. It can actually be the same people that's doing these two things, and it just fries my brain sometimes, thinking, how can you be so nice in one instance and such a prick in another instance? It beggars belief sometimes, but that is the community we're in. And see, the thing is, let's not kid ourselves. That happens in every community. That's not just FIFA. That's whether you're in COD, whether you're in fucking, whether you play fucking Smite, whether you play fucking marbles. There's pricks everywhere. And that's just society. It's a societal problem. It's no, it isn't just restricted to FIFA. It's everybody across the board. In every single fucking game you play, you're going to get wankers that are just there to be toxic to everybody else. So I mean, wishing cancer on somebody and all that because you didn't get picked is a bit of a fucking stretch, put it that way. I mean, I didn't get picked, and I didn't wish any ill on TK at all, apart from maybe filled in a stank. No, I genuinely didn't wish him any ill. I just thought he was a fucking idiot.
No doubt. That's it. I think you're right when you say it's a societal problem, but it's just, it annoys me more because that's the first ever like big type of like thing. You know, at the end of the day, if the Wales manager is currently fucking ill and has cancer, and I'm not gonna look into it, and I don't care to know because it's not my place to pry and go to the guy and be like, do you have cancer? Do you? I'm not that kind of person to sit there and go into it. But if the guy has ended up coming out and having to tell people that he has some sort of, you know, cancer, and then people in that chat, whether they're picked or whether they're picked and they're giving it to people that aren't picked to be pricks, are then targeting that because they didn't get fucking picked over a game. I think it says a lot about a certain person that's doing it.
You look at two communities, right? I've actually just had this highlighted to me, and that's actually quite a good point. You think of the beef that I've had with the French here this weekend, right? Don't get me right, I said I get a wee bit of red mist and I basically gave them a bit of both barrels. They put it all over Twitter, and they've actually had a bit of a laugh with it. The guy that actually had the ball, I've been talking to him on Twitter, and they were laughing about it. Now, in another sense, if it's on the British side, it's blew up into a million bits.
Well, the thing is as well, but like I mean, I've said things in the heat of the moment at games more than probably anybody in the scene. Like, I mean, I've called. I mean, like Jack McKenzie's a perfect example sitting in my chat. Jack's been subbed to me for, I don't know, man, like 20 months or something. Like, do you know what I mean? A long time supporter of my channel, and I've sat there and argued with Jack, calling pricks and wankers, Fenian fuckers and everything, and he's subbed to me. He's actually subbed. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what Jack likes that about me. Like, there's people like that about me and people don't. That's why I always say my stream is pure marmite. You either love me or you hate me, because I will just call something like I'll sit and play Phoenix and I'll be like, fucking Joe's a wanker and all that. But see, after the game,
I actually get sick. I'm not gonna lie. I've been saying clips like, "Look what Andy's saying about you," and I'm like, I say the same about him when I'm fucking playing against Unity.
Aye,
like,
of course.
Don't let that baldy bastard near the ball.
Of course. No, of course, but after the game, I'll come in and sit in a party with you, and nothing. It's nothing. It means nothing to me. It's just like the game's done. The wanker beat me. Fuck him, and that's it, done. And then because we done it and went and played PUBG and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? We like.
Don't talk about PUBG. even the beef, something that the juniors Zoku sent me, right? There was beef. I don't know if any of you have seen it. There was beef in the French community. I can't remember the team name now. I forgot the team name, but it was a beef in the French community. Now, rather than like we've had there here, when a team is on the verge of splitting up, everybody's going, "Oh, what's happening? Let's throw our wee ebb in. Let's mix the pot." There was a French team actually had another French team, and I think it was no Relentless. I can't remember their now. What's the biggest French team now?
Golden.
Maybe Golden. And they literally went and fixed the situation, and I think the team actually stayed together rather than going there and mixing it all and obviously blowing shit into proportion. Because if that gets into something like that was to happen to a team, and it gets into that poison pool chat on Skype, everybody's in there giving it big licks. And
I don't think it's even that. I think if a team was on the verge of splitting in the UK scene and it was a good team, it wouldn't just be the stir in the pot. It would be, let's just fucking get in there and try and poach the players and see if we can.
It's happened with Unity a million times. Like,
I mean, it happened to Phoenix this FIFA. I mean, I've had to take Shilling's phone off him. I don't know how many times and delete certain people's fucking things off him. Because Shilling's like that. These cunts don't stop messaging me. It's like, the only thing you can do is tell them to fuck off. Give them a fucking no. If you keep pamming with them, then they're gonna keep coming.
Aye, they're gonna see a chink in there, and
you've got to say, just I'm not interested. Either if you keep giving them that wee chink of saying, then they're gonna keep coming back.
Yeah.
We've had a good run through in terms of the World Cup, and since we've not been able to get a guest, I think we've carried it well. I think before what we'll do for the next 10 minutes, I reckon what we should do is go through fucking like bits and pieces throughout the week that we've had, have a bit of gossip in terms of what's happened where in the 11 scene, and then in the final 10 minutes, since I assume Andy's off at 8:30, then we can do the golden ball at like 8:20. So let's just kick off with the absolute fucking golden topic that I know about. Your two's opinion on Killian making and disbanding a team before the World Series has even come about. Thoughts?
Yeah, happens all the time. He's banned from my chat because he's a prick.
Oh, nice.
When I've got, obviously, I've no shit, but obviously he was one of the first 32 teams that had signed up for it. Now, when I put him in, I think if I'm right, he was number 30, and in there I basically have the team, the manager, and beside it I had it on orange. Won't make it kick off.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, right? There's no every single the boy's toxic, right? He's no learned not to be toxic yet. That's my problem with him. I've gave him numerous chances. Yeah, he's banned. I think he's banned for pretty much every chat, every stream because he's toxicity. Because what he does, he comes in, he says, "Oh, I've changed, I've done this." It's obviously a 15-year-old boy or 16-year-old boy. I don't know exactly what his age is, but he's a boy, right? But I'm one of the guys, man. I'll give anybody a chance. Like I've overturned bans for stuff that should never be overturned on my sites. But this kid is just, he got to the point where he got under my fucking nub, like that much that I just like I will not unban him. And I get messages from him every now and again saying, "Oh, I've changed, I've done that," and then I see him on Twitter being a prick again to people, and I'm like, do you honestly think that's changing? Like you're this horrible toxicity that you've got, and he'll come into a stream, like say he comes into my drafts, right? He'll come in and he'll be nice for like 2-3 drafts, and then it'll happen, bang, he'll start playing like a fucking retard, scoring OGs, or just fucking about, or leaving mid-draft, whatever. I just can't be arsed dealing with it, and that's why his teams will never work, because he is one of the most toxic kids in the whole scene.
He lasted less than 24. I had him in Phoenix. Now, don't get me wrong, the boy is good. Decent, a good striker, knows where the net is, can do the skills, can make space, bling people in. He lasted less than 24 hours before I told him to go. I'm just no dealing with anymore. And every time he makes a new name, comes into my stream, it's always just in there to bait, and I'm not interested in the bait, so I just ban it right away. No interest in that at all.
Moving on from Killian, then Killian's folding antics. With the lists of teams that you've seen come in to the next World Series event, Joe, I mean, of course, you're the one predominantly handling it, and I'm just there on the side doing bits and pieces for you. Are you seeing any kind of early outright favourites or any surprise returns for teams? Because I think there was a tweet earlier on that I can't remember. I am a noob in the 11 scene, and I think this is Frisky or Axoma or Ben's old team posted up a funny video of like Kurt Angle winning the title, but they had Class's face. I don't know if that's their team coming back, or if that's another surprise return. That's
supposed to be the return in it. There's the Undertaker dong, and it's the return and all that. But that's another team. I mean, the mere teams that come back. I mean, slowly but surely, since we made that announcement about us making the 11s league, doing more World Series, doing stuff outside. Like I win for days. Teams are slowly but surely. Players are coming back. Players are like, right, well, let's try this now. I mean, we know what the game is. We know the game isn't the best, so we need to make the best of the product that we've been gave. Hence why wing-back builds have been changed. We'll try this. I mean, the things that we put in. I mean, every time we try something, there's a public outcry of. I mean, sometimes I feel that I'm the Gestapo. You know.
Yeah. Actually, I was actually at work one day and literally sat for 5-6 hours dealing with the fallout of me and Joe implementing rules. Now, the thing is, like people don't understand is, we actually fucked ourselves. It was easy for me. It was easy for me to sit there and play wing back. I felt like I was 5 defenders myself. playing in a wing back ball. That's how good I felt. I felt unreal. I felt not a fucking soul can beat me or get past me. I was running about in drafts, man, clearing balls off the line. Didn't even need a keeper. Literally didn't need a keeper. I was running about doing that much myself. So I fucked myself.
We got to a point in the game where I went into a tackle, my guys fell, the striker's running through on goal. I've got up and caught up to the guy if I've been on the flare. Like, it shouldn't be a thing.
No,
I should have been totally out the game, lost to 50-50. My guy's on the flare, I'm not getting back, and I caught the guy before. It's in that 3's call him. But I was one of I'm like, I definitely should not been able to get to him.
No, definitely.
You're a question of teams. All the big boys are in the usuals.
We'll put it this way. I mean, of course, there's so many class teams in there. But talking of class, do you think class have a chance of retaining, or you think there was some of the names in there now compared to last time round, and with the restrictions you got going on, or do you think there's going to be another new winner?
I think they do have a chance of retaining, but I think that there will be another winner. I don't know about a new winner because Intensity could come along and win it, or Unity, or I think it's opened it up again. But Class could win it. Aye.
There's teams that have come back that I'm quite happy to see. Like Bravos, Jake's brought Bravos back, which I'm quite liking. Sublime's in there. Corner Tigers are still there. Empoli have come back again. Redemption have come back. Oh, no, Redemption. Sorry, it was the French one. I was like, what's the French one again? What were they called?
Golden.
It's Golden.
Relentless.
That's who I was thinking about. Golden, I don't think they're there actually.
No, they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be after last time.
No, they should be banned.
You basically took them out altogether, but there is a few new ones. Like, I'm pretty sure Reflection were a new one. Carmagana have come back. Zero Tolerance. I think I'm going to need to talk to Chiz because Chiz has changed his name, and I don't know. Is it? Well, obviously, I asked you about the mayor's thing that they were talking about. I don't know. I'm going to talk to Chiz before I put anything up for Chiz. Iconic are in it. Amity's back in it. Filth. But we do have, 5 standby lists. 5 on
That's
the
perfect. As you see what I mean, though, when I said to you, I mean, kind of away from the stream, but I told you always off stream. I'm amazed at how many, like, the amount of interest we have just in terms of backup spots there always is as well. And it always goes down well.
We've had 3 pull-outs. Right. Now,
yeah,
I'll flag 2 of them because one of them pulled out and didn't actually put a thread that they were in, but they message you tone. Don't put us in, but obviously they weren't actually in it. But I've just put them on the list because obviously they were thinking about it. But there is 3, and obviously Killian's team, of course, who were in for all of 10 minutes.
Aye, Joe, is Wollongong in there? Is that a new team?
That's a new team.
Aye, that's Jimmy's team in it.
I don't actually know if they're in it. I'll tell you in a minute. See if I find them.
So why you look for them, Joe? Is it a case where you've had? Okay, you found them.
There's no been much, by the way. There's no been much what I would say gossip in terms of 11-man senior the past week. I think because of the World Cup and that, I don't think there's been that much going on.
I've not done much. That's why
there's no been. There's no been much stuff going on into it. There's no been any. There's not really been much happening. Everybody's been geared towards the World Cup and stuff, and playing drafts and stuff. There's not been a lot of sessions either. I think there was like maybe 2 or 3 sessions for teams last week as well. So I don't really think there's been much happening on the whole kind of 11 scene.
It's to get sessions because we're now getting closer to the VFL season. The boys that haven't got teams yet, and like I know in Phoenix, I don't want to be messing boys up that haven't got a team yet. If Phoenix is doing a session, it's just a session. I don't want them getting to the point where VFL's going to start and they're sitting there like, oh, I've not got a team and that bastard Joe stopped me doing trials.
For the various guys are asking in the chat, like for example, I know Zeus is there asking about juniors. I wouldn't worry about who's in or not. The point that we're in now is that we are going to be doing the player signing threads in that World Series area like normal. So basically, there you go. So pretty much anyone that wants to know if their club's in will pretty much get a notification tagging the manager that's entered the club into in that area saying, listen, you're in, you're entered. This is the area to sign players. So it's all pretty much a go now. Like Joe said, he's got the 32, he's got backups. There is, we're a go. We have that space and that spot now to pretty much work with it until March 2nd. So there you go. What we'll move on to then before Andy has to go for Unity is the World Cup Golden Ball. So
Yes, Hutch. Sorry.
Golden Ball is pretty much the award that is the decider by the managers that participated, and also the media. I've given Dags a media award before when he was doing the streams, and I've given one to Andy this time around since he was here when he was watching everything. Whether he can remember anything on Saturday or not is a completely different factor, but he was still here and he saw the majority, so it's only fair to give him a vote. The vote.
Were you surprised with my picks?
I was surprised. We'll go into. We'll elaborate who picked who, and we'll go at who are surprises after I reveal. But yeah, the way it works is that each manager and Andy received a list of 10 people. Those are the 10 finalists on the Golden Ball list. The way it worked is that each finalist team had 3 people entered. So USA and Ireland, 3 and 3 is 6, and then 2 from the semi-finalists. So 2 from the rest of the world, and 2 from who was the other one? Northern Ireland. So in terms of going over who was in that short list, I put it on Twitter earlier, but I will elaborate over it again. And I will read you the stats that we've got before telling you how the voting went. So our 3 people from USA, in terms of who made it in for the list, was the goalkeeper, FH Molotov, with 6 games, 5 clean sheets, 18 saves, 1 man of the match. USA centre-back Lambo Sosa, 6 games played, 5 clean sheets, 1 man of the match. And USA centre-back Pineapple Pot Pie, who, in my opinion, was the man of the match in that final, 6 games played, 5 clean sheets. Ireland's 3. Centre-back was Tom 90, 6 games played, 1 goal, 4 clean sheets, scored that pivotal goal to get them into the final. Ireland right attacking mid, Jimmy Caldwell, 6 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. Ireland striker, Phoenix Cheeky, 6 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. Northern Ireland left mid, Adam 7, 6 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Northern Ireland striker, Nimick, 6 games, 2 assists. Rest of the world right mid, Zay Dillon, 6 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, 3 man of the matches. And rest of the world goalkeeper Ethan Jr. or JXR, 5 games, 1 goalkeeper clean sheet, 11 saves, 1 man of the match. So that list got given to all the managers. Each manager got told to pick 3 people in order of who they would bracket first, second, and third. Their first pick received 10 points. Their second pick received 7 points. Their third pick received 5 points. And then, of course, you add all that up, and then the person with the most points won. So in terms of going through the votes, because you won't be able to track all of this, I'm going to read you who voted for who first, and then I'll reveal the points. But this is the first time we've ever done this award where all 10 nominees have received a vote in some capacity. So it was a very, very tight one. So we had our media vote, and we'll let Andy talk through it quickly as to why he picked in this order. But Andy went with Nimick in first, Phoenix Cheeky in second, and Jim in third. What made you give Nimick first, Andy?
Personally speaking, felt that he carried Northern Ireland's attack.
Okay, fair play. And then was it a close vote for Cheeky and Jim between second and third, or did you just outright have Cheeky there?
No, I had Cheeky second, didn't I?
Yeah, Cheeky second, Jim third.
I had Cheeky second. I just felt like he was the one that was more likely to do something, I felt, in the Ireland team in terms of the attack. Because obviously defensively they were absolutely brilliant. And then Jimmy is like I seen as the kind of up and comer, and somebody I just felt that deserved a bit of recognition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like based on that, but I mean there was other players that I could have picked, like Z Dillon. There was other guys that I could have threw in, Pineapple Pot Pie, Dags. There was guys that were standing out, but if you notice, I've erred towards attackers. As a defender, I've just erred towards attackers because I think this game is built for defenders and it's easier to defend and attack.
Fair play. So the rest of the votes then, and of course we won't be able to get the opinions of these people because these were all coming from the managers. So Portugal voted Molotov first, Dillon second, Sosa third. Italy went Jim first, Sosa second, Dillon third. England went Sosa first, Pineapple second, Jim third. Scotland went Zay Dillon first, Ethan second, Pineapple third. Wales went Sosa first, Tom second, Dillon third. France went Dillon first, Molotov second, Pineapple third. Ireland went Dillon first, Ethan second, Sosa third. Rest of the world went Jim first, Molotov second, Adam 7 third. Mexico went Sosa first, Zay Dillon second, Jim third. Germany went Cheeky first, Zay Dillon second, Ethan third. Northern Ireland went Molotov first, Sosa second, Jim third. Holland went Sosa first, Zay Dillon second, Jim third. Poland went Zay Dillon first, Jim second, Sosa third.
Hungary went Sosa first, Cheeky second, Pineapple third. Spain went Sosa first, Pineapple second, Dylan third. And last but not least, USA went Tom 90 first, Zay Dylan second, Ethan Jr. third. Key important thing to note is that all 4 nations were told beforehand, based off of feedback of the last World Cup, that they would prefer that the nations that had players in the voting bracket were not allowed to vote for their own players. That's why you'll see USA didn't vote for any USA players, rest of the world didn't vote for any rest of the world players, Northern Ireland, same thing. So in terms of the points and the leaderboard then of how that went, we had in 10th place Adam Seven from Northern Ireland with 5 points. In 9th, Nimic from Northern Ireland with 10 points. In 3rd, Tom 90. Oh, sorry, in 8th, should I say? I got list reversed. In 8th, we had Tom 90 with 17 points. In 7th and 6th, we may as well call it joint, we had Ethan Jr. for the rest of the world and Cheeky with 24 points. In, what would this be? In 5th, we had Pineapple Pot Pie from America, 29 points. In 4th, we had FH Molotov, the US keeper, with 34 points. In 3rd, we had Jim Caldwell with 52 points. And then, of course, it was a 2-man race between Sosa and Zay Dylan. 90 points to 89 points. 1 point separated this. Whether you put the guy second, first, or third, it made a difference. Lambo Sosa in 2nd place with 89 points, and Zay Dylan, the right mid from rest of the world, taking the award home with 90 points with his impressive stat line from right mid. Commiserations to Sosa. I think, again, if I had a personal vote as an admin and I could vote for anyone, I would have, of course, I think, voted for Sosa, Jim, and Dylan. I think those were my 3 main standouts, even though I thought Pineapple was amazing in the final. But 90 points to 89, that is as close as you could ever imagine it. And yeah, man, I think both of them, if there was a way to give both the award for best player, I think I would do it. But, you know, maths is maths, and 90 outbeats 89. So there you go. That's just how it goes. So yeah, again, World Cup was excellent. Thank you to all the players. I know a lot of you in the chat were players. I know a lot of the managers are kind of listening in and watching it all. And it was a great event. I love doing the World Cups. It's pretty much like doing the World Series. The way I look at the World Cup is like it's a 3-day World Series. I get so hooked and into it. Everyone was just cool as fuck to talk to and work with. Even the foreign managers we had in like Italy and all that stuff were great. And the next one can't come soon enough. So thanks again for everyone. Congratulations, USA. Congratulations to Ireland for making it all the way to the final. And, of course, congratulations to Zay Dylan for taking home player of the tournament. That's all I have to really say on that.
Yeah, congratulations to Zay Dylan. Congratulations to the USA and obviously Ireland as runners-up in a very hotly contested final. And also as well, I want to say a massive, massive shout-out to the community who I reckon came out, and there was about 800 to 900 viewers between the various streams for the final. Absolutely, utterly insane numbers, I felt, because I kept an eye on everybody's numbers that were streaming the final. There was also, obviously, my own stream, there was Ben's stream, Dags was streaming, and then there was another kind of commentary stream as well, and the numbers for it were running about roughly between 800 and 900 for the final, which I think is fucking absolutely insane for a World Cup final. Me personally smashed my record. I think we smashed the VFL record as well. For the most kind of views. So, and then I know that Ben was sitting at like 150, 200. I think Dags got up to 100 or something. And that's just, I mean, the numbers are just utterly fucking mind-boggling for a game of FIFA. I mean, when you look at it from that perspective. But I think it will get better, and I think it will get bigger, because as the consistency VFL flows for the competitive 11-man scene, for the World Cups, for the every single season end and stuff like that. I think the numbers, the trajectory of the numbers, especially if we get a good FIFA, can go up and up and up. And I think at one stage we will bust 1,000 between the various streams. So I'm delighted with it. I'm absolutely delighted that that basically like you've came on board with this, and that when I asked you like, do you want to do this, and you're like, aye. I'm delighted that me, you and Joe have got involved in a competitive scene again together. I just think everything's gone quite well for the scene just now. So I'm really happy with the way things are going, working out. It's helped me no end. I won't
better the way
stress
we're
that
doing
enough.
it rather than the load being on one shoulders. There's 3 years here that if the load needs to be spread, it can be spread.
I would say, like, honestly, like, just in terms of like the last month, as in terms of everything that we want to do with the midweek league, with the stuff for the World Series and refining it, for stuff like, you know, all the stuff we've talked about with the stuff we want to do as a trio. It's been probably the most excited I've been in terms of adminship for like the last like 2-3 years in terms of all the stuff happening at once. And I think it's just at the same time, I like seeing you know, Andy and Joe's stream grow. I like seeing all these tournaments happening and everyone enjoying it. As I've said, the fact that the World Series is just popping off and getting as much love as it's getting. I always thought back when I started it, I would struggle to get fucking 16 teams, let alone 32. So,
I told you, didn't I? I told you when you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Build it and they will come, because they were screaming out for some sort of something.
Me and Joe were on sabbaticals as well, so you'd no rival. You'd nothing to rival you. I literally stepped aside because I was running tournaments with Unity on the Unity site, and I was like, when you came along with that, I was like, right, that's me, I don't need to do anything now. Because even Joe was pissed off, I was pissed off. It was perfect timing for everybody that you come in, and it's just your consistency over the years with that website is second to none. And I mean absolute second to none. Even myself, Angelo, because we've came and went at times.
His drive is quite freaky.
Aye, you don't.
I'm
you
not
don't.
gonna lie, it's a freaky drive that you've got. It doesn't matter. You could be lying sleeping and you must just start shouting VFL. Oh.
Aye. Banging the windies on that train.
Fuck's sake, man.
But thanks for unbanning me for VFL, Aaron.
Every stream, man. Every single one.
I had to get that in there because we hadn't.
Every single one, man, without fail, all the time. When is it gonna end? Man?
That's our thing now. That's our thing. That's our that's our, what's it called? That's our pun or whatever you want to call it. That every stream. Man.
It's never gonna go away. It's never gonna go away.
See, in 5 years' time, we're on season 273. Do you remember that time you banned me in season 10?
Yeah, exactly. Dylan knows. Don't get banned. See?
No, my fucking fault.
Dylan knows.
It's actually your fault, Dylan, and the 11-man scene fault that I get banned. No, my fucking fault. I never done anything.
Right, well, I'll wrap up and I'll let you go away to Unity then, and I don't want to delay your session, but I'll
I've been doing the chat. It's delayed anyway because somebody's going to be late in.
It's delayed,
well,
so we can
talk about then.
I can float about.
I've got my timings bang on, so I don't know what we can talk about for 10 minutes.
Well, how about we talk about we touch a wee teeny bit on what's coming next week.
Are we doing one next week? I thought we were doing the
Oh no, but World Series next week. Well, World Series.
No, we are doing one.
Where's the? Hold on. I need to see the schedule.
Week, because this week was supposed to be a World Cup review and us continuing to rant about FIFA with Chrissy and Thingy. I think next week was the one about VFO. I'm not sure. I think that's
where next week is VFO.
You guys will like that one.
I got mixed up. I thought this the next week is the 16th one. I was like getting all juicy. God, I was getting moist.
Fuck me. If only be breaking 7,000 viewers for that.
I was getting moist, man. I was like, I cannot wait for this, man.
That one will be good.
Yeah.
That one will be very, very good.
No, that's powder keg. But just so the community know that the other Aaron at this point has so far refused to come on because it doesn't want to ruin his image. But we'll get into that more during that podcast. But so next week is the VF. I'm actually quite interested in the whole VFO thing, by the way, because
I think you and Joe and the more kind of older community part of it will be very interested in it, because I remember even though that was 2 years ago, I remember so much because I was so blown away by their attention to detail and just the way that they focus on the business side of it properly, not like someone that we know, but the fact that they run it so well and they work with Lenovo so closely. That was their main kind of driving selling point. And yeah, they were just overall nice people, man. I don't have a bad word to say about the two guys that I met in 2018 that ran VFO. Really, really nice guys, good business minds, good attention to detail in the scene in Spain. It's good, yeah.
When is Aaron putting his webcam on? He can't because...
If I can, but I'd have to literally do the podcast lying down and pretty much holding the phone above my head or sitting up and holding my arm outstretched, and my arm would die doing that for an hour.
You need to do it at least once, because you drop that phone at least once in your face.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine that during the fucking.
Who the fuck is that you've posted?
What is it?
I says, give your YouTube a shout out, and he gave somebody else one. But anyway, Dags has got a YouTube, a lookalike channel. He's obviously been building up. I think he's over 1,000 subs now. So I'm sure if you PM him or whatever. He has. He done one of me last FIFA as well. I'm still waiting for this year's one because he promised he was doing it. He promised he was doing it. He's on 5k now. Jesus Christ. Just looks like a default.
We have 5k now?
Yeah, Dags is fucking making moves, mate. He's going to overtake old man Abbott at some point. Closing in on him. Only fucking, is it about a quarter of the way there?
I'm at 200.
I think I'm the same, to be honest. My most watched video was Steg scoring into Hatton in a 7-1 destruction of Rangers. My most watched video. And it's just because of that.
Your most watched clip is, I think your most watched clip by the time this month ends will be the fucking one where you lost Red at France. So that still gets replayed at our parties constantly.
It's just that. It's not even, see the thing, I feel bad because it's not even the Frenchies' fault, it was how bad we were. I mean, see if you watch it back and then you basically watch it where I lose my head, it's because the fullback's holding A and his guy's just ghosting the fucking, I'm like, just get your finger off it, fucking him!
Aye, that's right, aye. You know, guys, you come here like a fucking, and almost like a raging dad, want to boot him up the arse, and you stamp on the grunt. You missed the tackle and everything. Like, you actually missed the tackle, and I'm like, he's fucking fuming now, man, because he's like, trying to make a point, and he's missed the tackle, he's probably thinking, fucking bastards. I've done it myself, because I used to be, obviously, famous for raging and coming out sliding, but that's like, when you're that furious, you just want to tear up the whole fucking pitch and ram it up somebody's arse, man. That's the way you feel. You just feel absolutely fucking beeling. And then you go to do something and you just end up looking like a fucking nugget. Or that way when you're talking about somebody's positioning and you're that busy telling them what to do that you end up standing at the corner flag and costing a goal and everybody ends up taking the piss out of you. Like, I've seen that so many times, man, between me and you.
Sitting there explaining a scenario, look, if that happens again, that's what I want, and then you just watch a big LBY fly right out of your head. Like, oh fuck! Like, is this your fault, you bastards? Aye,
but they don't. Your team, especially seeing you in a team like James, Dylan, and Ronnie, and that, they just fucking rip the piss out of me for it. So I end up fucking raging, man. I end up absolutely irate, and they're all sitting pissing themselves laughing. I'm like, see if I could like literally get the free room in a room at one time, I'd fucking merge them into one person. I'd hit them that hard.
You got any changes in coming to Unity for the World Series, Andy? Is it all pretty much the same squad? I remember after the last time you said that you're having a bit of a rebuild. I don't know if that's still happening.
No, a rebuild as such. We've just added more players.
Because Dylan obviously was working, if I remember right.
Aye, Dylan was working. We just added more players. Like, we've added Birch's joined in with us. James has come back playing a wee bit more.
How was he finding the roles? I know he was in the I hate the game sort of role with the wing-back shirt.
Oh, fucking Dylan. That's why Andy's just gone quiet. Dylan's just said in the chat he's working the next one as well. Andy's arse has just
Andy
dropped.
just went white.
No, I never even noticed that. I was looking at them saying that they would slap me a bit and all that. These young boys, man, they just don't know. They just don't know. Fucking Daddy Bluefin teach you all a fucking lesson, boys. You will get fucking put across my knee and straddled, son. I don't know. I'm having a bit of a problem at Unity now because the way I look at it is that the players I've got, everybody's really, really good standard, but everybody's getting ball greedy because they all want the ball. So I can't have like, say, Dylan dribbling the ball about, gives it to Butts, then he dribbles the ball about, and then he gives the ball to Miller, he dribbles it about, he knocks it into Raj, he dribbles it about. So we're not actually fucking going anywhere because nobody will move the ball. It's like, I'm wanting them to move the ball quick, Like, get it into Dylan and Ronnie quick as fuck, and then if Dylan needs to beat somebody, he's only got 1 or 2 guys to beat. But by the time we're getting up there, he's got 5 guys to beat, or we're giving Ronnie a shot, and he's got to get it through fucking 7 bodies. It's not working. And try to get that through to the team. That's where we are now, is trying to, because I mean, generally speaking, we're doing okay. We look like a team that's rusty, but that's it. I mean, we've not played as much as a lot of teams, but if we get on it, somebody will take it down.
I mean, to be honest, see, for this other thing that we're playing, there's that many of us now that can't make it. It's like a different team every single day, every week, every time that we take to play, and it shows massively, because there's some teams and you're sitting thinking, if I had a team that played the night of the World Series, it would do better than what we're doing now, because there's that many new faces, and try to get them today the way that we have been playing with the boys that have been there for so long, that have done well, is, well, you know what it's like when you get new players in, try to mould them and get them to do what you want. And then, I mean, Dylan's one of them that's come in to help us out, and you're not going to mould Dylan because Dylan has his own fucking...
Aye, Dylan does what Dylan wants. The thing is about Dylan is, obviously I've had him so many years, is like, you need to play to a guy like that strengths. You need to build your team around him. And the thing is, that's what I had with, like, we had an issue in Unity with Ronnie and Dylan for a while when they basically weren't mixing well and stuff. And that's how Ronnie came out to strike. It's probably quite a bad FIFA for Ronnie, to be honest. It's probably the worst I've seen him. Because he couldn't score goals, and if he can't score goals, then what is he actually offering? And if he's not holding the ball up, and he starts second guessing himself and all this shit, because he's like, oh well, what will I do? Because if I don't fucking pass it and I just shoot, I'll get moaned at and stuff. So it was trying to get reintroducing him this FIFA where hardly anybody actually shoots is probably the best thing that's happened to us. Because now I've got that kind of dynamic mix again where I've got the guy that will just fucking blast a shot for anywhere, but I've got the guy that can dribble around the 2 or 3 players. So.
No, there was times watching Dylan and some of the games he was doing that dynamic dribbling and was take 3 players out of the game and then try to move the ball, and then when he moved it, it was just a case of, right boys, 18-yard box, let's go.
Aye.
I think we've exhausted. I don't know what else to talk about, Andy. I think you need to get your session starting on time, son. You're making us look bad.
No. I think we'll just
too much on the next week's.
Yeah, I think we'll just wrap up, man. It's fine. I can lead the stream on and just like start getting everybody organised for Gunny, and I'll see what kind of viewership's left by the time they actually start playing. But thanks to you two, obviously, for being my staunch, loyal 2 guys every single week that turned up and didn't give me fucking 5 minutes notice and tell me their fucking asshole had collapsed or something. Sorry, JR. And obviously Chrissy G. Well, to be fair to Chrissy G, he messaged me today around about 2 o'clock and told me, look, I didn't realise Man U was on when I agreed last week. And he's offered to come back on, so... And I'm sure JR would probably want to come back on as well. So, thanks to you two. If you are wanting any closing words, then now's the time.
I'll just say congratulations to America on winning it, and Dylan on the golden ball. The golden ball. But apart from that, not a lot. Cheers for everybody that has been coming in, because I think we've been doing this now. This is what, a 3rd or 4th week, fourth, and each time we've been consistently over 100 viewers. So I can only thank you boys for coming in. Listening to us.
Just echo what Joe said as well. Like I said, thank you for a fucking blockbuster weekend of World Cup ball, and then we got a bit of a while now so Andy does another kind of absolute fucking manic weekend thing. I think the next time Andy will do one of those is probably the World Series, and then after that it'll be the Champions League stuff again, I imagine.
Yeah, the World Series I obviously play in, so it's like it's hit or miss.
But you kind of do that. Yeah, but I think with you playing it,
just
you
get
always
grouped, Andy. Don't worry, I'll win it for us, mate. You get grouped, you go do your thing, and I'll win it for us.
I mean,
thanks, Joe.
Because even if you go all the way, like Unity always gets in a World Series, you had like 300 people watching you when you went like all the way and won it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you're going to have a good stream regardless. Plus, it's interesting watching you because, when you play with Unity in the World Series, you either get the absolute beauty that is fucking Andros the Thin Rage, or you get to watch Unity play some soccer ball and ping it around. So there you go. It's a fucking win-win.
Yeah, well, everybody prefers a Rage, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I don't think anyone here would fucking deny that, Andros.
Yeah, the rage is real. The rage is real in this young chap. Right, boys. Well, I'll duck out the party. I'll bid you adios. If you need anything from me as the week is going on, you know where I am.
Yeah.
No worries.
Sure. Same here.
So
Right, well,
thanks
thanks again, Andros, and have a good session, mate.
No bother. Thanks, troops.
Bye, Joe.
Bye bye.
Bye, Joseph.
Bye bye.